my channel. I'm Rachel, the owner and creator here at the Eclectic Cottage in Spokane, Washington. Happy Saturday, you guys. For today's video, I kind of went back to my norm, so to speak, and I grabbed a little footstool. I've been searching for what seems like ages for some sort of inspiration for this particular piece, and not too long ago I happened to be watching a video by Yvonne over at Ginger Chick Rehab, and she was doing something kind of similar, and I really loved the way her piece came out, so I used that as a jumping off point for this project. Absolutely love the way that it came together. I hope you guys do too, and without further ado, let's get to today's project. For today's project, I am finally tackling this little wooden footstool that my husband and I picked up this spring at a yard sale. I think I paid a couple dollars for it, and I can't tell you how many times I've taken this thing and put it on my work table and tried to come up with an idea for it, and then ended up putting it back underneath my table, and I finally decided it was time to get it done. So I am starting by giving it a good sanding in the areas that had been painted. Somebody took the time to hand paint this, but it's definitely just not my style. So I am sanding all of that off to start. And in the end, the plan that I came up with was inspired by a video I watched over at Ginger Chick Rehab. I have watched Yvonne's videos for many years, and I have gained a lot of good inspiration from her over that amount of time. So to start with, I am going in with DIY's Dark and Decrepit Liquid Patina. I wanted my base to be nice and dark brown. I didn't necessarily want to take this out and spray paint the entire thing. I still wanted some of the wood grain to just be there underneath this darker coat. And I love the Dark and Decrepit. It's a great stain. If you wanted to use it just as a wood stain, you can see on that pine that I had sanded down that it's just a nice dark brown stain, and it goes over really well, even just over the parts that are already stained, to darken those up as well. Once I had that all down, I am going over it with a coat of Salvation Solution by DIY. This is a clear primer. In Yvonne's video, she used shellac, but I find shellac to be kind of stinky, and I like the Salvation Solution because it is not stinky. You can use it inside and not have to worry about any kind of a smell. So I'm just going over this entire piece with one good coat of this Salvation Solution, just brushing that on, and it will dry nice and clear and serve as a base coat for my paint. For my paint, I'm going to be using Sweet Pickins milk paint in the color Birdie. I absolutely love this color, and I did not put any extra bond in my paint because the whole point of this is to hopefully get some good crackle with the milk paint. I started off by just giving the inside of the box one coat of the milk paint, and then I went ahead and moved on to the outside portion of the box. Then I moved on to the outside of the box, and here I am putting on the first coat of paint. I'm making sure it's nice and smooth, and then I am hitting it with my hairdryer to add a little bit of heat to that paint to hopefully help it crackle. Then once I have the first coat dry, I quickly add a second coat right over the top. And then once that's applied, I'm going to hit it again with my hairdryer to again add some more heat to help expedite that crackle. And once I'd finished this side of the stool, I worked my way section by section around the entire outside of the little stool using the same technique. Now, before I painted the top, I went ahead and flipped it upside down so that I could give the inside of the stool one more coat of paint. And then I did flip it back over and finished off painting the top. And since it's really difficult to see in the video what that crackle is looking like, I thought I would take a picture and show you up close and personal so you could see exactly what I'm seeing as that crackle is appearing. Once my paint was dry, I took my little stool outside and gave it a really good sanding. Now, my vision for this is to have it look very antique-y, rustic, have some of that wood tone kind of showing through the paint, make it look like it was aged and had been around for a while. So I'm going over the entire thing with some 220 grit sandpaper. I'm roughing the edges just a little bit, really trying to bring some of that beautiful brown out from under the Birdie paint. Once I was finished sanding, I brought it back inside and gave it a really good cleaning with a damp shop towel to get rid of any of the sanding dust. I knew I wanted to put some transfers on this, and in order to do that, I need to make sure that I don't have any sanding dust left where I'm going to be putting transfers. For my transfer, I am going to be using the set called Rosette Royale. It's one of the newer ones by Redesign with Prima. In the set, you get 3 8.5 by 11 sheets full of these beautiful, kind of viney, rustic looking cottage roses with some other flowers. And I just think they're beautiful and the perfect touch for this little stool. I had to cut a few of the leaves off of this first piece just to make sure that everything fit. And then I am just peeling off that backer and laying my transfer down onto my piece, and then using the transfer stick that comes with the set to rub that transfer down into my paint as I peel back that piece of vellum. It's a very easy process, and the transfers tend to stick really, really well to the milk paint. The main thing to remember is just go slow, be patient, and if you accidentally pull up a piece of the transfer with the vellum, just lay it right back down, re-rub that spot until that piece is adhered. Once I had the first big transfer down, I went ahead and applied a smaller one to the opposite corner just to kind of balance out the top of my stool. And once my transfers were completely applied, I grabbed a piece of the vellum and rubbed them down into the paint really, really well. This is called burnishing, and it helps to remove any wrinkles or air bubbles from your transfer, seat them into the paint really well, and it can also help hide some of those halos that tend to be left around the outside edges of your transfer. Now, one of the things I like about transfers is that you can cut them up into whatever configuration you want to use them for. And since some of these were a little bit longer than I needed, I did just that. I cut off the pieces I didn't want and then just applied the pieces that I did. And then on the other corner of this side, I'm going to use some of those pieces that I cut off to create my own arrangement. I'm going to layer them one on top of each other, starting with the back of the grouping and laying that down first. So first goes on your background, and then you can layer up from there. So I had the first piece, and then I just added some little leaves that I had cut off. And then over the top of all of that, I added this beautiful rose. And then on the other side, I'm doing much the same. I cut some of the pieces of transfer apart so that I could create a configuration that made better sense for the side of the stool, and I'm just laying them on one at a time. Finally, it's time to seal my paint, and we are back to kind of mimicking what I saw Yvonne do in her video, which is to seal up the milk paint using dark wax. Now, she used a different brand of dark wax. I'm using DIY's dark wax, but we definitely got very, very similar results. This dark wax just goes right into all of that gorgeous crackle and really makes it stand out well. And so I'm just going over this entire piece with a good coat of DIY's dark wax. I'm brushing that over the paint with my soft bristled brush, and then I'm going back in and wiping back the excess with a dry shop towel. Now, not only does the dark wax help bring out that beautiful crackle, but it's also giving my paint a gorgeous aged patina that I really was looking for to finish off this piece. And I'm just working my way section by section around the entire stool, adding a layer of that beautiful dark wax, and then wiping back the excess with my dry shop towel. Once I'm finished with the dark wax, my little footstool project is complete, and I absolutely love the way that it came together. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Well, I think that's it from here for today, you guys. I hope you liked my little footstool project, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I so appreciate that. And if you haven't already, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and then just hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. And then, of course, don't forget to drop a comment below and let me know what you thought of my footstool project. Just a quick reminder too, the paint and products you see me use can be purchased through me at my website, and that's www.theeclecticcottagespokane.com. I'm currently out of that transfer, but don't fear, I have more on their way. They should be here probably in about 10 days, I would assume. So if you want to kind of replicate that look or use that particular transfer set, it will be in shortly. And then let's see, for Wednesday's video, I'm really hoping to have a thrift haul for you guys. I by myself went on a thrift haul last Sunday, or junk run last Sunday, and unfortunately I really didn't find a whole heck of a lot, not enough to really make a video with. And so I'm hoping that this Sunday, tomorrow, I will be able to get out and add enough to that to actually make sense to have a video. So fingers crossed. Anyway, I hope you'll join me back here on Wednesday for that. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend and beginning of the week. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. And I will see you back here on Wednesday. Bye.